record on just. Okay.
Okay.
So this is what.
Yeah. Okay. I got it. All right.
This is what reminds me of Frida's work in this piece. Is the way Frida uses the image. Frida uses her paintings as places for her narrative, right? So she uses symbols
lots of symbols
to tell her story, right? So, I mean, a lot of them are the self-portraits, but let me find one with her full body is a better example. So like even like this, right? So and you've done, this is actually a good one for you too, because you deal a lot with I think planets like space and astrology. Like I feel that connection in your work. So and the stars, remember the pieces you did about the stars? I mean, I see that a lot in your work. So I have to move because the sun is hitting this building across the street from me.
I'm going to take the screen grab of that one.
So look at this picture. Like I see so many similarities in your work to this picture. And also that the figures, your figures are a little stiff and their hair is going out. Like that just reminds me of her too. Like she has, I love her work, but her figures are a little bit stagnant, right? And then she has these narrative, like this one reminds me of your work too. She has these like sort of collection of narrative things around her that are like, you know, if you read them like a book, you'd be reading about, you know, places and things that happened, you know, and sort of
a lot of it, so much of it is
circumstances.
Yeah.
I really see a similarity. I mean, this one especially to your, you know, your piece here. And so I was going to question you on this, like, look at, I mean, I'm sorry, but look at, I mean, I see very strong, I mean, not exact, like her work, but right? Do you see the similarities? Right? You have music here. To me, this over here is some like far off land. Like this is maybe a building. Like right? This could be a horizon line. Then this green thing, that could be like she's got a plant over here. This could be like roots or a plant she's holding in her hand. Right? She's got sky stuff happening. I mean, the jewelry, like the fashion accessory, you know what I mean? There's a lot of similarity here.
Wow, I hadn't seen that at all. And it's interesting that you said my figures are stiff because I tend to go for dancers. So
yeah, but I still think that I think my figures are stiff.
Really?
Wow. I do. I think once that they're, I mean, I can show you a picture right now. I mean, on the floor. I mean, once they're in a position and they're painted in a painting, it almost, I hate to say it, but it stiffens them. I mean, I don't know, like it, you know what I mean? Wow. Once you make them the center, the focus, you've stopped their motion. And I think what you and I are both doing is we're using the encaustic and these other things to sort of float around our figures and tell the story.
Okay. This one started, this one, you know, has a long, I started off as a collage, you know, from one of the painting with fire things where it wasn't, you know, I didn't do it the way you set up a collage. It was totally collaged. And then I put the figure in and then, you know, kind of add it, it just, and it doesn't look anything like how it started. It's just interesting to me. Yeah, it's fun to do the layers and play with it and see how.
I really like this flower up here. I like this flower a lot, and I like this part of the painting. I mean, I like this painting a lot. I like the way that the sash is broken. I just really like everything about it.
Nice.
Yeah. I like the music notes.
Yeah. Oh, I know. The original was a picture that I'd worked on as just a flower study, and it was horrible. I didn't like it, so I scraped it back. But some flowers that I allowed to come through. And then I started doing the collage. Anyway, it's interesting for me to see, to work with the collage elements, because there wasn't really a story with this, the way Frida Kahlo has her story. Well,
Right,
that's good.
but her stories are very literal.
Yeah.
Yeah, I
Right.
wasn't suggesting that I'm often not fixated on an actual event when I paint, but more sort of the emotional context of events.
Cool.
Yes.
Yeah.
The effects of the events, I suppose, on us.
Okay.
But yeah, but interesting. And also Frida's great. I think she's great for you to look at too, because
I'll go back to her work. Yeah.
well, right, but think about how much I've talked to you about these horizon lines.
Yeah. Yeah.
And
Yeah.
I love all of her references to
Yeah.
like whatever, technology, industry, nature, spirituality. I mean, that's the beauty too about being an artist, is you really can, a collage artist and an encaustic artist, is you can really throw in, it's kind of like making a soup. You can really throw in the pot what you want
Right.
to eat,
Right. Well,
and
this is something I'm
what you're,
working on with with this picture of my mother, because it has a lot of there's a lot of story. There'll be a lot of story in it, so it'll be interesting. It's going to be a challenge for me to collage the narrative together.
yeah, I love this one. That's really beautiful.
Yeah. Well, good.
All right, let's see. All right, so that one's done. You think that one's done?
If I think it is, I just wanted to check with you.
Yeah, and I love this one. I love this one.
I do
So
too.
wait, you did all the things I said.
Yeah, well, and I did. I have
Great.
two problems, and I'll tell you.
So good, Pam. I love, love, love this one.
I do too. And I don't know
Love
how
it.
it looks like it's translucent on the bottom. It looks like she could be even underwater. But anyway.
So good. Yeah, it's so good. I mean, it's so good for all the reasons that Frida's painting is great too, is that it's that really, it's that great horizon line and that foreground and all the action of things that are happening in the ground and then up into the sky.
Well, I think it really made a huge difference, because originally I had made it kind of just in a circle, but no, there was no horizon line. And once you told me that,
And these bushes are perfect. These bushes over here make it.
Huh. Interesting.
It's the things because that makes it just makes the horizon line make more sense, right? That's actually a land.
I didn't even see them as bushes until you pointed it out the last time. But I want to tell you two things I had trouble with. And so you had said I should lighten her face and cheat a little bit, just kind of air bomb drop, the white. I don't know. I could not. I get it on, and it just didn't look right. And I did the thing where first you said put it in a little bit of blender, your finger in a little bit of blender, and then the white or the color, and just drop it on, and it still didn't look good. So
I think it looks great. Whatever. I mean, the way it looks right now, I think it just looks
okay.
It looks great.
The other thing I didn't like was you had said I think you were saying put gray like under arm, because I don't know, that was very awkward, the way the dress was and the meeting with the green ground. So I tried different things I didn't like, and I said, oh, screw it, I'll just have a bouquet over her waist.
So you added these flowers.
I added the flowers just so we could see her arm, because you really couldn't tell before.
No, that's perfect. It's perfect because now this arm is perfect on her forehead.
Yeah.
And then this arm going across her belly is perfect.
It got lost before, but now you can see what it is. Yeah. So I have to tell you a story, well, short thing about the emotional content. I mean, I showed this finished picture to the woman who had taken the picture of, and there's a whole story behind that I can tell you later. But anyway, she looked at it and she said, oh, I love this.
Oh, good.
And she's not a model, I just
Yeah.
asked her to do this, and there's a whole emotional event for her in this. And I was afraid, it's like, she loved it.
Oh no, that's great. I
And
mean,
yeah,
it's
that
beautiful.
was very sweet. That
It's
really meant a
beautiful.
lot to me.
But I mean, this is such a successful piece, as is the other one. And so, I mean, for me, I can really see you grasping, this transformation, right? Like, how are you putting these photos together with the painting and making them
Yeah,
make
yeah,
sense, right? So that
yeah.
they have sort of a competency, right? An intellectual competency, that they are working, and they're beautiful.
Well,
I mean,
thank you.
the only other thing that you could do to this,
Yeah.
and I don't even think you need to, but your blue
Mhm.
sky could get a little bit later, but at the top. But I don't think I don't even
Oh,
think
I see what you're saying. As you're going up, it gets lighter. Oh, I thought.
yeah, but I mean, it doesn't matter. It's perfect. I mean, this is realistic. There's so many days that look like this. I always laugh when, you know, the sky is perfectly blue and the grass is perfectly green, and that we have these just like two.
Right, right.
I mean, you probably don't have a lot of that because of where you live,
Oh
but
no, we do. Oh,
you do. Okay.
blue skies, it's like rent a cloud usually because we don't have it. I mean, it's just totally blue.
Oh,
Yeah.
that's funny. Yeah, I
Um,
love this. I mean, I love this for so many reasons.
well,
And
thank
it
you for
doesn't,
helping me
yeah.
thank you for helping me put it together because I know the first version, I still have it, it's going to be one of those recycle things. And then I said, I'm going to do it again. I'm going to start it from the beginning, start over, and then you helped me get to this point. So I really appreciate that.
Yeah, it's beautiful.
Good, good, good.
Beautiful. Beautiful, beautiful. All right.
One
So
I don't like.
I like this one. I've always liked this one.
Well, I've liked it, but there's some things about it I don't like. So I'm going to shut up and let you critique it, and then I'll talk to you about what I've been where I am with it.
So I think what I would do at this stage, and I did this a little bit with Joe Ellen on Saturday. It's like when do you use the wax medium layer, just the wax medium as so
Mhm.
so there are a lot of times, and especially for me personally, when my pieces are bigger, I
Mhm.
really feel like I needed a lot of those translucent layers in between the layers of the paint so that they weren't all trying to talk at the same time.
Right. Yeah.
I
Okay.
mean, and I know we all experience this socially, and I, especially having spent like a lot of time with my family in the last couple of weeks, like I know everybody wants center stage and wants to talk all the whole time. And then it's just like, how do you switch from person, like those social situations. And I think paints are a lot like that, where they all, you know,
Well, I
want
liked your analogy you've done before of an orchestra. Like
right. The different instruments need to, right. Some need to have a bass rhythm and some need to have a solo. So also like that, I like to talk about it too, is sort of that hierarchy of imagery. I mean, your most important part of this painting is this woman, right? And
mhm,
probably, and her face and maybe her butterfly wings, right? And
mhm.
technically everything else in the painting should be second fiddle, third fiddle,
Okay.
viola, right? Like string bass, like drum. But so the rainbow is the problem, right?
It is now. I tried. You originally had said put in that the translucent orange, and it looked
So it
hard.
doesn't, right? It doesn't. So from here, so what you have to think about is what to do from here, right? So
Would I put wax medium over just to
yeah,
tone it? Okay.
yeah. And
Hmm.
you could even put a tiny, like I'm talking, like you don't want to really change these colors. If you put too much blue on top of them, you're going to turn the color,
Yeah.
right? You're going to change the color into another color. So, but what about just wax medium over the rainbow
Mm-hmm.
which will just take the background back and
Right.
it'll push her. She's already coming forward because she's forward momentum and she's, whatever, whatever, right? But so if you just take that back.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah, that makes sense. Maybe I could use that translucent blue after I put wax medium on just a little bit.
Yeah, sure. You could do a layer of wax medium.
Mm-hmm.
And I wouldn't be, I think it might be okay if you put a little bit of like translucent blue over this like floral, this square too.
Oh, really? Okay.
This
So I think
rectangle.
you had suggested that I bring that beige. So I did pigment stick over what we call the gravestone
Yeah.
and the flower, so to kind of even that out.
I think if you put a little bit of blue on there
Okay.
or a little bit of wax medium on there, I would just treat the whole,
Mhm.
thing. I mean, what's nice kind of about like this piece, right, is that you kind of have um a color palette to most of the background, like this green,
Mhm.
right? Is pretty consistent, right? And you have a little bit of a horizon line here, but also sort of that like maybe she's floating, like not as concrete of land. It's not necessarily land. She's
Mhm.
somewhere, but not necessarily standing or lying on the ground, right?
Mhm.
Where
Mhm.
this one's more definitely laying on the ground. This one, she's definitely walking forward out of this space. So you
Mhm.
want to kind of create that feeling that this stuff
Is
is
be
behind her.
Yeah,
If
yeah.
you wanted her to be stuck in between those two spaces, then I would have said put something over her and over her, blocking her, and then she'd
Mhm.
be stuck between those two spaces.
Well, I had a little bit of that issue because by mistake I put some wax and the beige over her dress as though.
I see that, but I don't mind that. I don't, I like,
Well, actually, I tried to pull. It was much more pronounced. So I said no. I want her in front of everything. So I tried to pull it back. So then there was still some beige. So I think I'll have to put some white, to accent her.
yeah, you
Just
could put a little white on her dress,
yeah.
but
Okay.
I mean, either way, I mean, that's not.
That's so interesting to put blue on that. Yeah, yeah, I get it. I mean, it's like this
Well,
blue.
yeah, I mean, I just think it would add cohesion. You're still gonna see that. I mean,
Mhm.
you're not,
Yeah,
you use wax medium and a very translucent glaze, you're still gonna see everything. You're just
yeah,
gonna
yeah.
on it, take its sharpness down. And I don't think you should. I mean, you could technically razor blade the rainbow and break it up and make it more atmospheric, but I think you have too much to lose here if you mess that up. So
Well,
it's
yeah, I have
easier.
layers underneath. I have that orange under translucent orange, which looked horrible. Yeah, I think just to
And you worked hard on her wings. So again, like you could make a mask, and this is a really fun thing to do. And
Mhm.
it's one of my favorite techniques too, is where I just take a piece of paper,
Mhm.
I just take a regular piece of paper and I make like an oval mask.
Mhm.
And then I
Mhm.
just put the oval over the figure and
Mhm.
I do a translucent glaze over the oval,
Yeah,
right?
yeah, right. Yeah.
And
Okay. So
that can
okay.
be helpful too, because honestly, like you can let the bottom of her dress go in, it's like just focus on again that her,
Uh-huh.
her
Yeah.
wings, her hands, like down to her knees, and then the rest can just go one translucent glaze. It could be wax medium or very, very pale, very thin
Hmm.
translucent blue.
Hmm. Good. Okay. That's so interesting because I looked at it, I said, oh, and now when you say it, I see what's happening. It's compete the elements are competing. And yeah, if I just push all that back, yeah, great.
Right. So make a mask, make a something to put over her. I mean, you could even make it like a square for
Yeah.
her butterfly wings. And then, I mean, I'm an oval person, so my shapes tend to be circular, but there's no reason you can't put a square. Some people like squares and rectangles, and
Yeah,
you.
I'm like you. I like an oval. I mean, that to me that seems.
And then if you
Yeah.
do the wax medium without the blue encaustic, you might want to do a little bit of blue pigment stick.
I
You know.
have that translu. I have, but I have it as an encaustic and pigment stick, that cerulean translucent blue. So yeah,
Right.
great. Oh, that's so helpful. Yeah. So
Okay.
this one, okay. So, oh wait, if we go back just for a minute to the butterfly wings,
Uh-huh.
I still would like to do one where I do a different treatment on the butterfly wings. I mean, I think it works in this, but so I got some acrylic ink, and I'm just playing around with what can I do to get these whorls that I was working with, the original butterfly wings that I was working with. So I don't know if I'm what's going to happen with that, but I'm experimenting with that now.
Okay.
Just to do.
Well, I think your wing project, and I mean, look, you really are, you're so good, like at that app, like I was like those stars you did, like, I love that part of your work. Like, I love that references to science, your connections to science and the natural world, right?
Mhm.
So whether it's astronomy charts or wing patterns or rock geoid,
Mhm.
slices. Like, I like those specific either photographs or references or stat. I think that's really interesting connection for you to incorporate in the work. And it could be something it's obviously someplace you look to for references.
Mhm. Mhm. Yeah.
I think you do it
So
really well.
thank you. Well, I'm working
All right,
on it.
so we're going to this one. Okay.
Okay, so I
So
remember
this
I
is the
still
photo
want,
that you wanted to do multiple times.
yeah, well, so I still, the first one I really wanted to do as white. So this is the second time I've tried to do the white, and then it becomes something else. So anyway, now I call her the Earth Woman. And I woke up the other morning, and I said, there was all this brown and leaves and kind of autumny colors. And I thought, oh, robin's egg, blue, that's what I want. So I tried different things. Do I put down some things with a nest with robin's eggs? It didn't work. And then I tried different stencils, and I didn't like it. So then I just splattered I made a mask, and then I splattered just that blue on. So for me, that was like, it was a problem solving thing. I want that blue in there. I'm not quite sure how.
Mhm.
Anyway, so this was interesting. It wasn't what I was originally thinking of at all. I just started tearing paper, and then I have the mask on the side of her face there. So if I'm doing a series, to me, this is like the earth, um, the earth mother, or whatever.
But so
Um,
is she in a cave? Like, where would you say she is?
Oh,
Where?
I hadn't thought of that. And in a way, I feel like, oh, I wish I hadn't put those things up on the top, because she feels very
Oh, right, but
confined.
you can get rid of them. I mean, technically, like, keep them for texture. So look, to me, she looks like she's standing in a doorway, right?
Interesting. Or a cave. You were saying, is she? Because I
Well,
hadn't
if it's a cave,
thought of
yeah,
that.
it can be a cave. Well, the reason I say a cave is I feel like you've started to change the shape of the doorway,
Mm,
right?
mm-hmm,
So originally, like, it was like, oh, it's a rectangle
mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
and she's coming out.
Yeah.
Right, this is the front, like, wall, and she's in front of it, like, so it's a house, like, it's a house. I mean, or it's a cave. So if it's a cave, you can continue this line here. Let me download this for a second. Let me draw on this one, I think.
Okay, good. That
So like,
helps me so much. And sometimes I can't do what you can do in Photoshop. I'm still technically having trouble doing it with pigment stick or whatever, but it really helps me see.
well, it just
Yeah.
helps you have to make decisions, right? I mean, art is, I mean, technically, I joke around about this all the time, but it's a series of decisions.
Mm-hmm. I'm really seeing that more and more now.
Um, and so at some point, like, sometimes I start with just the figures. I think we work in a similar manner where I start with just the figures and then I add some floral things. And then sometimes the photos provide me with a landscape or a setting that I can play off of. And then I tried to, my last show, I tried to, set my figures in this sort of the neighborhood where I work, right?
I
So
remember you
like,
telling me that. Yeah,
I
yeah. I really like
specifically
that.
wanted to tie. It was almost like I wanted to tie this like imaginative young girl figure that I have in my psyche in this harsh, poor,
Mhm.
burned out,
An urban setting. Yeah.
dangerous urban setting, right? So and I think it works, but again, like I don't, I don't know.
No, I think it does too. Yeah, but it's interesting how you
So
had that intention. It wasn't just like it kind of grew. What
no,
happened?
I was specifically in control of it. So if you don't have a specific idea for her, that's a little bit harder because you have to construct. Your job as an artist is to construct the space compositionally and with paint and with color. I mean, but listen, I mean, hands down though, like if you want something to be chaotic, like technically, if you don't structure this, what is the interpretation of this image? That she's basically in what? Like a, she's in a, what do you call it? Oh, like an avalanche.
Ooh.
Do you see that? Do you see how like these
I say it's chaos.
falling? What?
As chaos.
Yeah, this is chaos, right? So maybe that's what it's meant to be. I mean, so have at it. This is chaos. I mean, if anything, like put smaller, slashes behind her, so that these are the ones in front of her, and then
Oh,
she's
I see
got
it.
like sticks and things falling behind her, right? So it could be slashes in the wax that were dark brown. So okay, let's go with idea one. So idea one that we just had, right? So do you see the beauty and the power? You're the creator. You're telling the story. So
Yeah.
whatever actions you do with the brush or with collage elements, that's what people have to interpret, right? So it makes perfect sense. And actually, like this piece could be close to done if that's your thing, right? So look, what I was thinking is take this brown, right? I mean,
The first one is that she's going through a doorway or a cave.
well, right, but there's like all this things falling behind, right? Like things falling behind her, right? I mean, this is just like, but you could, then there might be another big one, big something here,
Yeah. Okay.
right? And then maybe a few more splatters. Like I love the splatters, right?
I'm into splatters right now.
Yeah, I love the splatters.
For some reason, I think maybe it's because it's colder. It's harder to do the stenciling, and so I just thought, oh, just do it random, instead of anyway. So
Right? I mean,
this is interesting. Yeah, I see.
so that's the right. So that's like she's coming out of chaos and catastrophe and she's busting out right away. So that's an option. I'm just gonna save this.
Yeah, I did a screen grab. Okay.
Save them. So this is chaos.
Uh-huh.
Okay. And then we'll go back. Oh wait, I can probably just it doesn't matter.
So this is working with what I have now, just putting the slashes, the chaos behind her.
Yeah. I mean, and you could do it, you can just you could draw them on there with wax, or you can make it with a tool and then rub pigment stick in there. You could do a lot of things. Okay, so the next thing would be like she's in a cave, right? So the cave would be, this is kind of fun too. The cave would be like, creating making this darker, right? And
Yeah.
creating this.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Mhm. And that seems more stable. Yeah.
Right.
Uh-huh. Uh-huh.
And I mean, you could do it with the brown, you could do it with the brown and the gold. And then
Mhm.
you could figure out too, maybe she needs like a streak of this blue, in there. So like
Mhm.
that would be option two. So let's just say, I mean, that was just a real quick hack job, but let's just
Yeah,
say,
no, I see what you're getting at. Yeah.
all right. So technically now we have the chaos, and
Mhm.
only through comparison do I ever see things. Like I can't
Mhm.
really I can't really isolate things and right. Oh shoot, where's the other one? Oh shoot, what happened?
Well, I have a screen grab. I could send it to you.
What happened
Wait.
to chaos? We overrode it. Wait, maybe it's this one. Wait, hang on, let me see. We got two. I can do this one again. Hold on. I can do it really quick.
Yeah, I did a screen grab, so I have them both of it. Yeah, just do the slashes.
I'll just do the slashes, then we can throw it in the group. That's
Uh-huh.
ah,
Yeah.
ah,
All right.
ah,
Chaos. Right.
ah. It throws sticks at you. All right.
Yeah. Okay.
I think I hit save. I think I saved over. So
Oh, save it to the desktop because then it's already there. Save it to the
I lost your original already, I think. All right, anyway.
because I find it's easier to put it in desktop and then you can put it wherever you want.
I overwrote it again. All right, there we go. So do you see, so then you can be like, oh, well, which one do I like,
Yeah. Wow. And this, I keep wanting to do the white on white thing, but then I come over to this and I just was going with it. Interesting. Yeah.
I love everything that you did. And I mean, honestly, there's like nothing wrong with the way it is, the way you have it. I mean,
Well, but it's so interesting for you. You're really helping me see better and also learn how to tell a narrative with it. So that it's, yeah.
I
No,
think the narrative is here. I just think it's not as
yeah.
to the next step. And I think honestly, I like these two elements, the three strong it's almost like she's literally like fighting her way out of them, trying to dodge them,
Interesting.
right? So
Yeah.
my only, if you even just left it like this,
Mhm.
I just am not sure that I like that. Wait, I'm sorry. I'm just not sure I like all of this bright white for her
Right.
top.
Right. Tone it down. Yeah.
All right. So you could, sometimes I even just take a little tool and I just kind of like mark it up a little bit or, put some pigment sticks on there.
Mhm.
And I think it's good. I like it. I'm fascinated by it.
I was fascinated because I was chatting with a friend and I was tearing up paper and I started, like playing around with collaging. And I thought, oh, I kind of like that. And so I went, it's just interesting. I went in that direction without really having an intention at first, but
Right.
just interesting.
Yeah.
Good. Okay. Well,
Yeah.
that's that one.
Okay. Is that it for this email? I think
I think so.
okay. Yeah. I love them. I mean, let me go back to your.
Yeah. So then the next set is the ones I really struggled with, but I really feel like I learned a lot. So let's see, this set two. So these were kind of I watched Regina Quinn's first thing, which is it's so different from anything I've done.
Oh
But
yeah, we talked about this. Oh, these are
yeah,
beautiful. Yeah, I love these.
I was really entranced with her idea of the wax bounces colors around and you you work with contrast to, so it's really like luminous. And I don't feel like I achieved that, but I feel like I learned a lot. So this one,
Wait, I think, wait, just, I think you did a great job. So look, this yellow to
yeah.
me just doesn't make any sense. Like, but you can leave it on there and just take a little bit of like a blue pigment stick
Mm-hmm.
and blend this gold back into that sky. You know what I mean?
Oh,
And then just take a little bit of black and just like make it blend into the road.
so do you
I
mean
think
the,
it's beautiful. I actually think it's beautiful.
I like it. I think they're different, but anyway, so do you mean the translucent pigment, translucent blue, or I mean, I have the translucent violet or the translucent blue,
No, just like pigments.
regular,
Yeah, so
regular.
if I just got this color, even this dark
Okay,
blue color,
okay, because those are
look,
translucent pigment sticks on there.
just make this go away. You can blend back up.
Oh, okay, okay.
Right? And then
Good.
take a little bit of this black or graphite gray or whatever, and look,
Yeah,
you can close the road, right?
yeah. Oh, and tone it down. Right, I see what you
And it
mean.
can be under there, but just not so cookie
It's not so
cutter.
obvious. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, look at that. It can be there, but it just doesn't have to be.
So you, after when we discussed it the first time, you had said, well, put the photograph down and then put translucent pigment stick. So that's what I did on top.
Mhm.
And I did the translucent encaustic for the disc. I don't know if it's the sun or the moon. And
Yeah,
then I put her on top of that.
yeah, I love it.
And then I had to deal with the snow, and that was hard. But anyway,
No, I
totally
love it. I love the snow texture. I love it.
good. Well,
Beautiful.
then
Yeah,
this
beautiful.
one,
I just
yeah,
that gold coming down her body just didn't make any sense. I mean, I get it that it's like a glow on her or a
but
backlight,
it's too much. Yeah, it doesn't,
but it
right.
has to be softened and blended into the next. I always call it like the next closest color.
Okay,
It
that's
doesn't
good to
have to
know.
match. It doesn't have to be cookie cutter, and it doesn't have to be solid. It just has to be suggestive that it matches.
Okay, okay. So
Right?
I then I decided, well, I'm going to put more pigment stick on the top to make it darker because I wanted that translucent, that luminous disc to be glowing. So the next one is the darker. I just added more of the translucent pigment, the translucent violet and the blue.
Is
Yeah,
this
that
the same piece or a different piece?
it's the same one. So go over to the right. It's a purple. Yeah, there, that one. So there's a lot I like a lot about this better, but I'm just not sure which one I do like better.
So do they wait? I'm sorry. Is this one on the right? This one on the left?
It is. It's the same one. I just darkened it.
I think it's too dark. I think
Too
the
dark.
background's too dark, and I think the snow is too blue.
Okay.
I like this one.
Lighter one. Okay.
Well, this is just too. I don't.
To me, it looks
I like
nice.
the variations in the sky. I mean, this one you could just rub this one out a little bit, like just so that there's some
Mhm.
right, like lightness maybe in the center, like
Mm,
towards the top. I don't know. I just
mhm.
and
I do.
I don't love. I like the snow whiter.
Mhm. Yeah, I did a lot of different things with the snow, and I did practice boards, how to get
I
it.
love it.
This whole thing with accretions or something, whatever. And I wanted the white snow, but then it seemed to be competing with the with the with the sky. So I went anyway. I was just trying out different things. So
Well, I think it's here. There's a little bit more. I think it's actually in this one for me. There's a little bit more competition between the sky and the ground because they're both so colorful.
okay.
Um, she really pops out of this one though. I mean, the darker the background, the more she's gonna pop out, you
Mm-hmm.
know.
Okay.
Um,
So I'll rub the darker one down, and I could probably puts a little bit of, well, the white is not going to be translucent, but just to tone down the blue of the snow.
How did you make this snow blue?
I think I put the cerulean blue on
Pigment stick
top of,
or wax?
well, no, I did the speckled wax encaustic white, and
Yeah.
I think I put some cerulean blue on top of that to match it up with the color of the cooler tones instead of having it white, because the white just to me it was kind of too jarring the way it was.
Mhm.
So I don't know if I can get that blue off unless I rub. If I
I was gonna say you could use a little turpentine, or you can use a little turpentine.
okay, so the
A
snow.
little bit of turpentine. You can put a little bit of turpentine on a rag and just wipe it.
Okay, okay, I'll try it.
Yeah.
Okay,
And you
then
could
rub
do
in.
that too for the you could do that too for the sky. I mean,
Okay,
that
I
color
can't.
purple though, that color purple though to me doesn't speak
Mm-hmm.
of sky. It's a little bit,
Yeah, yeah.
it's like a little bit too like movie, like fantasy movie.
Uh-huh. AI.
Yeah. Oh
It's
yeah.
not AI, but yeah. And then also with this one, the way it is now, which is the one on the darker one,
Mhm.
I should put some blue on that gold, you know, the the gold that's behind her dress.
Yeah, this needs to be like blended into the background.
Okay, blended in. Okay, okay.
Yeah.
Oh, oh my gosh, I've tried so many different things. I mean, it was interesting.
I love it. I mean, and again, like every one of these sort of like assignments you're giving yourself or tasks or projects, you're just learning a lot, right?
Yeah. Well,
Yeah.
and I love the idea of put the photograph down and then put the translucent. And I thought, oh wow, this is so cool.
Yeah.
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 Okay, good. So then, but then I tried another one where
This
I
one.
watched Regina Quinn's thing on Painting with Fire, and this is not the photograph. I created these uh, tree trunks,
Uh-huh.
and I tried to change it so there's more atmospheric. And then I have a detail that's on the next picture, and I did slashes of, let's say the next one after this, the last picture. Um, I just slashed into the wax because it's
Yeah, I love it.
really heavy with wax, and then I rubbed in uh, the yellow and the violet.
I love it. It's so
I
good.
like it too. I thought, wow. So I don't know which one I like better, the real photograph one or
Wait,
the
this is just a detail shot of this one, right?
yes, yeah. I
So
just
I
want to
I love
show.
I love how you handled the trees in this. Again, like this is where I feel like you're so close, but you could just go back in one more time
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
with a little bit of pigment stick and rub, just tone this, like just tone. Hold on, I get it in Photoshop. Hold on. It's you're doing a great job layering this stuff, but I rely on my pigment sticks to give me that final,
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm,
you know, control. Like because the
mm-hmm.
wax is hard
Yeah.
to control in those ways, right? But just to kind of like just to break this up. So it can be like
Okay.
a gold-ish,
Mm-hmm,
right? But you
mm-hmm,
don't want to introduce sort of another solid form, right?
mm-hmm, mm-hmm. Yeah, I got it. Wait, I'm gonna do a screen grab of that too. Okay.
Right. So and it doesn't have to
Yeah.
be like, again, you could mix and you could even put some of your, I know you have like some white in here, like you could even put some,
I could do more white touches, you think?
yeah, like you can make, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it
Okay.
looks like so it looks like you know, and then there's like,
Oh, I
okay,
see what you're doing. Mhm.
is that like, is the ground coming? Oh, you know, is she blending into like whatever? That's so nice, right?
Oh, I like that. I like it. It almost looks like little fireflies or something.
Well, right, they're kind of all right, but they're kind of
Yeah.
here or whatever in the wax texture. Yeah,
Yeah.
it's really beautiful. And then you don't have anything like super ethereal in the sky, but you could always just add, you know, you can take like a little bit of a white, even a pan pastel,
Hmm.
you know, and just kind of, right, put it on top just so that there's a sense.
Oh, I see. Bring the light
And
forward.
don't, and look, and this is where you have to kind of make a decision. Like it's 6 of one, half dozen the other. Don't scrape it, right?
Hmm.
It's not,
Hmm.
you can keep adding to it, but what are you adding? You got to add in like the opposite direction. So instead of adding more dark, you know, more wax or add something, another material, but just in a, like that just lit it up, right?
Yeah, it did. Right. Oh, cool. Okay.
So you could do that just with like a little bit of a white or a light gray, you know, pan
Hmm.
pastel on a makeup pad and just kind of pat it in there. And these are
Hmm.
the very final touches that just make this,
Hmm.
make it like, it makes the whole piece like more hopeful and optimistic than
Yeah.
so
Right.
dark, so dark, right?
Well,
And also,
yeah, the only reason I had the dark was trying to get the contrast of that gold glow but what you're doing is saying you can put that in other parts, just around the photograph. It doesn't have to be just that.
right, so but think about what we're actually doing is we're defying, we're sort of, we visually want to sort of beat ourselves at our own game. We want to work on a flat surface, but we want it to look like it's an illuminated light box,
Hmm. Hmm.
right? So, and everybody, you know, that's how we're like sort of programmed now, is that because of computers and stuff, is that we sort of want everything to glow from the back, I think. And
Hmm.
so when you make a lot of dark things and a lot of layers, and especially with the wax, it's very, you know, you're like, oh, it died, you know, it's
Too
like,
much. Yeah, I
right,
see.
and then I think just adding those like light areas or
I
light at
really
the
like.
top or figuring out your directional light, you know, which where it's coming, that spread just livens it up.
Yeah, I really like what you've done with that. Yeah.
I'm gonna save this.
Okay, well, I said it too. I'll put another screen grab.
I'm just gonna say retouch. This is beautiful. I mean, I totally admire, I love and admire how you know, kind of task, you know, set yourself on these tasks.
Well, I don't know. I get an image in my mind, and it's like I
Yeah.
want that. I don't. How am I going to get there?
Yeah, I love it. I love it. Yeah.
I
I think
I
you could make more. I mean, I think this figure is great, and I think she could be, you know, on a rock on the ocean, or you know, looking on a cliff overlooking your stars. You know, like, so there's more that you can, you know, there's more that you can do with her. She's a good, she's a good character, you know, for your stories, your
cool.
paintings. Yeah, these are great.
Good. 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 Well, like I said, I enjoy it. I feel like I learned a lot, and it was a lot. It was a lot of problem solving. Like I didn't want to write you every 2 seconds. Especially over the
Yeah.
holiday.
No, it's
And
fine.
that was good. It was good for me to say, well, how am I going to do this? And let's do some practice pieces, and let's try this.
Yeah. Yeah.
Um,
How big are those?
they're 8